All right, let's go ahead and get started with our warm up. Nice little jog. And I'll shift over the camera towards the bar. That way you can see me a little bit better when I'm over on that side. And then doing some alternating step out. You can also add a hop if you would like, or just keep the step out, raising the arms overhead as you alternate stepping the legs out. A few more just like this. Oh no, what happened to the music? Keep it going, just little step out. All right, there we go. And then from a standing position, alternating hand toe tap, kicking your leg out in front, trying to keep your leg nice and straight. If you want to keep playing, yes.
I just wanted to let you know, I don't think my camera is working. And the other thing is I will have to leave at 12:30. We have a 1 o'clock all hands meeting.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for the heads up. Just make sure you stretch before you have to leave.
I will.
Thank you. And then stopping in the middle, and then bringing your leg up and over the side. Chin and chest stays lifted. Really bringing that leg up and over the side, warming up your body here. Let's do one more on each side. And then staying low. Feet are wider than your hips, toes are slightly turned out. Reach your arms out by your side. Reach down, tapping the opposite inside ankle, keeping your head above your heart so you don't get lightheaded. And then stay nice and low, arms forward in a windmill motion. And then just reverse in the direction, arms backwards, warming up those shoulders. Staying nice and low, slightly hinge forward at the waist, open and close the arms, giving yourself a nice big hug and then squeezing your shoulder blades back. Coming down to a runner's lunge, left leg forward, pressing into that hip, opening up your right hip here, not letting your left knee pass your toes, and then pressing it back, straighten your left leg, maybe point and flex your left toes, and then just switching sides. Big step forward with your right foot, pressing into that right knee, not letting your right knee pass your toes, opening up your left hip, bring it back, straighten the right leg, maybe point and flex the toes, and then bring it on up. From here, option to use your weights if you would like. I'm going to restart our minute here. We're going to come into a fourth position. Right foot is slightly behind. We're just having the right foot behind, slightly hinge forward, and we're going to have the arms in an O shape out in front as we extend that right leg back, squeezing the base and outer right seat. We're going to come into a chest fly. So keeping your arms nice and bent and that O shape, soft bend in both of your knees, tiny open and close. Closing your arms as you draw the right leg back to meet your left ankle and left heel. Keeping it going. Almost there. Last 10, just like this. Then we're going to hold that right leg back and pulse it up. Last 3, 2, and 1. You can keep your arms out to the side, weights at your hips, whatever you like. Just tiny pulses up so that back right leg is slightly bent. Just relaxing your foot, bring a little bit more weight into your right leg. You should really feel it in your corner right feet. Staying slightly hinged forward, soft bend in your front left leg. Just relaxing your right foot, keeping that soft bend in your front knee. Tiny lift and low. Really firing up the corner pocket of your right glute. Keeping it going. Last 10 just like this, and we're going to switch sides. And 3, 2, and 1. Bringing your right foot forward, left foot back, coming to fourth position. So left toes to right heel, slightly hinge forward, arms in that O shape, palms facing in. Chest fly, bringing your arms up as you lift your back leg up. Keeping that nice bend in your front right leg, tapping your left toes down, and then lifting up, working the outer left glute. Core stays nice and engaged, keeping that hinge at the waist, maybe gazing a few inches in front of your right toes to keep your balance. Keeping it going. Tiny lift and lower, keeping that bend in your back left leg, moving here with your breath, opening up the arms as you lift the leg, drawing the arms back together. From here, keep that left leg lifted, tiny pulse. You can keep your fingertips together. You can keep your arms out by your side. You can also just keep them at your waist, whatever is comfortable for you. Keeping a soft bend in both of your legs, keeping that left foot relaxed, that waist not flexed, not pointing, just any natural spot that you have for your left toes. Just relaxing, giving you that additional weight on your left foot. Working that outer pocket of your left glute. Keeping that hinge forward. Keeping it going. Almost there. Last 5, just like this. Staying hinge forward for 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the feet hip width apart and parallel. Bringing the palms facing in towards your body. We're going to, with a straight right leg, lift that right leg forward as we come into an upright row. So bringing your index finger and your thumb up towards your chin as your elbows lift high, simultaneously lifting your right leg. Imagine that you have it on a string, and as you lift your arms, you're lifting your right leg. Core stays nice and engaged. Keeping it going. Almost there. Right straight leg lifts. Right toes are flexed. Palms facing in. Coming into an upright row as we lift the right leg for 7. Last 3, 2, and 1. Hold the arms upright. From here, we're going to work the back side. So just bringing that leg back. Toes are still flexed. Squeezing now the bottom of your right glute as you open up the arms. Nice straight right leg, slightly hinge forward, keeping that soft bend in your front left leg. Don't lock out the left leg. You can also always hold on to a couch or something, or a bar ledge, a doorknob. As you hinge forward, just squeezing the base of that right glute. Add in the arms if you would like. Nice straight right leg. Last 10. Going strong for 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Come back to center. We're going to do the exact same thing on the left side. So straight left leg, locking that leg, coming into that upright row as we lift our left leg up. Working the top of your left thigh. Bonus quad work here. Palms stay facing inward towards your body. Elbows stay nice and wide. Really drawing your knuckles up towards your chin. Left toe stays flat. Try to lift that leg higher each time. Higher than the time before. Higher than you think you can. Engage your core to stabilize yourself. Keeping that micro bend in your right leg. Keeping it going. Core stays nice and engaged. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. With those arms out to your side, palms facing up, nice straight left leg. We have wide arm bicep curls as we lift that back left leg. Toes stay pointing down towards the floor. Soft bend in our front right knee. Keeping it going. Doing what you can. Wide arm bicep curl. Left leg extends back behind you. Toes pointing down towards the floor. Almost there. We're going to swap out our weights if you're using them for that bar, that couch ledge, that chair, whatever you have, to be able to place your side onto. Keep it going. Tiny little bicep curl for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set those weights aside. We're going to bring our right side towards the bar. And we're over here a little bit more. There you go. You can see my nice guest room. All right, from here, no equipment is needed aside from you and your bar. Again, you can use the couch ledge, a chair. I think people use ovens. Just be very careful. We're going to bring our heels to our toes apart, about elbow distance from the bar. From here, we're going to keep our feet nice and flat, and we're just going to come into a plie and back to standing. Just bending and straightening the legs. As you straighten the legs, think about having a micro bend in the legs, keeping your right hand to the bar or your couch ledge, whatever you're using. Core stays nice and engaged. Almost there. Bringing your left arm overhead, we're going to step our left leg out to wide second and then stepping it back into first. So just drawing your heels together and then coming into our wide second plie squat. As you step away from the bar, you might find that your right hand just pulls away. That's okay. Keeping it going. Halfway through this move, stepping as wide as you can. That way your knees are tracking over your toes but not passing them. Keeping it going. Almost there. Almost there. Last 5, and we're going to hold it in that wide plie. Keeping your left toe stepped out, toes are slightly turned out, sinking your feet down towards your knees. From here, we're going to lift the left toes as your left arm comes forward, and then bringing your left heel back into the floor as you draw your left arm up. Core stays nice and engaged. Keeping it going. Just tiny lift and lower of your left heel as you simultaneously lift and lower your left arm. Keeping it going, moving here with your breath. Almost there. Keeping the arm open to your left side, we're going to alternate raising and lowering our heels, really getting into some calf work here. Trying to keep your hips nice and low. Core stays engaged, so nice flat back, keeping your shoulders directly over your hips. Keeping it going. Left arm just reaches out to the left side. Imagine that you're holding your best friend. Keeping it going. Tiny lift and lower, alternating. Which heel raises and lowers. Left arm just out to the left side. Right arm can just be by your side or onto your bar for a little bit more support. Last 15 seconds. Keeping it going. Last 5. And then holding your right foot lifted. So left foot is flat, that's away from the bar. Right toe towards the bar. We're gonna come to a side bend and then back straight up. So left arm stays overhead. Keeping it going. Working into that side oblique. Crunching with the right. Staying on that right tippy toe if you can. Core stays nice and engaged. Just coming to that side bend, stretching over towards the bar, and then coming back to center. If you are pulling on that bar, that chair ledge, anything, just make sure it's a light grip. Last 10, just like this. And then drawing that right foot flat. From here, we're going to side bend pull. So holding in that side bend, imagining that you're a crescent moon and you're just crunching even further over, maybe staying inch or two lower in your hips. Keep it going. Core stays nice and engaged. Just tiny crunches here. Halfway there. Almost there. Just like this. For 15. Almost there. Last 7. You got this. From here, we're going to now take our left side to the bar. Heels are together, toes are apart. From here, coming to your low heels and then bringing your heels back together. So just hovering like we're wearing little kitten heels. You can keep your right hand to your hip and then just down and up, just bending the knees. Imagine that you're sliding down a wall behind you. So nice flat back shoulders stay directly over your hips. And the same plane, keep it going. Core stays nice and engaged. Almost there. Almost there. Just lower and raise. You got this. Left side to the bar, low heels. Just bend and extend your legs for 3. Last 2. And 1. From here, we're going to step our right foot out with the right arm overhead and then come back to center. So this can be done, again, with a bar if you have it. You can also use a couch ledge or a chair ledge, maybe a countertop or table. You can also use an edge of your door frame or a doorknob. You can also do it without anything at all, keeping your left hand on your hip, just stepping your right leg out as you bring your arm overhead. Keep it going. Almost there. Last 3, 2, and 1. Pulling it in that wide second, so feet are wide than your hips, toes slightly turned out, bringing the right arm out to your side. We're gonna lift our right toes as we bring our arm overhead. Keeping it going. Coming up high on your right tippy toes, higher than the time before. Maybe sinking an inch or two lower in your hips. Being mindful that your shoulder stays stacked over your hips the whole time. Just right heel lifts and lowers, really firing up those inner and outer thighs. Bonus calf work here with the heel raised and lower. As you raise and lower the heels, keeping your hips just as low, so just your leg is moving, not your upper body. From here, keeping your arm overhead, and we're just alternating. Raising and lowering the heels. Back stays nice and straight. Chest is lifted. Tiny raise and lower. So just think about alternating the heels. Same thing we do with the other side. Just bonus calf work here. Core stays nice and engaged halfway through this move. You got this. Almost there. 2 more moves. Then we're going to come down to a tabletop position in 10. Alternating, raising and lowering the heels. Last 3. From here, keeping your left side in towards the bar, coming up high on your left tippy toes, right arm out to your side bend from center. So core stays nice and engaged. As you come into your side bend, keeping your chest nice and lifted. Right foot is flat, left toes are lifted. So imagining that your arm is a window and you're trying to look out from underneath the window, keeping your neck nice and long, really crunching down your left side. We did it on the right side. Now just to make everything nice and symmetrical. Keeping it going. Last 10. Moving with your arm for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Option to keep that left tilted or come to flat feet. Now we're going to pull. Pulsing even further, really reaching your left fingertips forward. Chest stays open, so we're not bringing our right arm down. We're keeping that right arm nice and lifted. Think about stacking your shoulders, right shoulder over your left, and just pulsing down. Really feeling it in your left oblique. Halfway there. Then you get to come down to a tabletop position. Keeping it going. Core stays nice and engaged. Very nice. Looking so strong. Few more just like this. Core is engaged. Staying a little bit lower, maybe sinking your hips an inch or 2 more for 7. From here, come on down to a tabletop position, bringing your fingertips away from your body, wrists are directly under your shoulders. From here, we're going to extend our right leg directly behind, strong point through the toes. We're going to bend the arms, coming to an assisted push-up as we simultaneously lift our right leg. So it's like we're doing a seesaw. That right leg stays straight. Keep it going. It's going to adjust the camera here real quick. Still going. Right arms bend in our assisted push-up. Right leg stays directly behind you. Fingertips facing away. Keeping your elbows glued into your side. Keep it going. Last 7, just like this. Keeping it going. For 2 and 1. Pressing back up to straight arms, keeping that right leg extended directly behind you. From here, just tapping that right leg over, tapping on either side of your left toes, trying to keep that right leg as straight as you can. Think about really squeezing the base of your right glute as you lift the leg up, keeping your hips facing down so we're not opening up our hips. Just gazing down between your thumb and index finger. Keeping it going. More than halfway there. keeping a tiny micro bend in your elbows, not to lock out your elbows. Right knee is directly under your right hip. Just bringing your right leg up and over for 7. Last 3, 2. Keeping that right leg lifted, we're going to open the right leg away from our body and then come back in. You can keep that leg as high or as low as you want. If you want to hover directly on the floor, that's fine. You can also keep that leg lifted, really feeling that pinch in your outer right glute. Trying to keep that leg nice and straight, really adding that weight from your leg all the way down. Halfway there. I'm going to do the same thing, just switching sides. Core stays nice and engaged. Think about drawing your navel in towards your spine. Nice flat back, no arches in the back. Last 15, keeping that right leg as high or as low as you can. Core is engaged. For 5. Last 3, 2, and 1. Put the right leg down, maybe shake it out. Now we're going to bring our arms wider than our shoulders. And we're going to extend our left leg directly behind us. Nice strong point for your left leg, nice straight left leg. Bending the arms, coming to our assisted side or our assisted wide arm push-up as you simultaneously draw that straight left leg up towards the ceiling. Being a seesaw with your body, bending your arms as you simultaneously draw the left leg up towards the ceiling. Arms are wider than your shoulders, working into those wide arm push-ups, working the corner of the chest here. Nice straight right leg, trying to keep your hips in the same plane so hips stay parallel to one another, facing down towards the mat. For 7, last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to straight arms, keeping that left leg directly behind you, nice and straight, and then just little rainbow taps up and over each side of your right leg that's not moving. Right knee is directly under your right hip. Just relaxing the right leg. Try not to push off of it. All the work is in your left side. Right leg already did the work. Now it's time to do the same thing on the left side. Core stays nice and engaged. Now open up your hips. Hips stay facing down towards the carpet. Imagine that your hips are headlights guiding you along the way. Just gazing down between your 7 index fingers. Last 10, nice straight left leg as straight as you can. Almost there. For 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that left leg lifted, just press it out to the side and then back in. You can keep that left leg as high or as low as you would like. Arms stay nice and wide so you can graze that floor if you would like. Barely brushing it with your toes as you draw the left leg out, not to push your right hip out from your right side, keeping that completely still, just working that left side. Hips stay facing down, whether you have that left leg lifted or lower. Core is engaged. Almost there. Last 10. Going strong for 3, 2, and 1. Gently setting that left leg down. You can grab a single light weight. From here, we're going to come to our left side plank and then drawing our top right leg behind us for a little bit more stability. From here, we're going to bring our top right hand up towards the ceiling and we're going to lift and lower. As we lift our hips, we're drawing the arm up towards us. So making that tricep extension, you can extend the arms as you lift or lower the hips. I realize I'm doing the opposite of what I said. Whatever works for you, however your mind works, You can also take out the arm work and just do the hip lift and lower. Most important thing is that your hip stays stacked, so your top right hip is directly over your left, drawing that right tippy toe behind your hip for 5, last 3, 2, and then bringing your hips down. We're going to come to a kneeling plank. So from here, still with that weight in your hands, keeping the arm lifted, we're going to lift the arms up, opening up the hips, and we're going to tap the toe, come back down, close the legs, lowering the hips. Keep it going. So really total body here. Working the arms as you raise and lower the arms up. Working those hips and the glutes by opening and closing your knees and lifting your hips. Really working the core as you draw that top leg toward your top arm. Keep it going. Almost there. Last 10. Going strong for 3, 2, and 1. We're just going to switch sides. This time coming on to the right hand or left. You do the opposite last time, no worries. Coming to our high plank and then drawing that top left leg behind. From here, we're going to lift the hips as we lift the arm up. So hip lift. This bonus tricep work. If the arm is just too much, just don't do it. You can keep the left arm down. Lifting the arm as you lift the hip with or without the weight. Top left toes press into the floor behind your bottom right leg. Top left hip is directly over your bottom right hip. Keeping it going. Core stays engaged for 10. Last 7. 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower your hip down. Catch your breath. Having a soft bend in the knees. So with your bottom right hand, bring your left arm up. We're going to lift the hips, open the knees, bringing the left arm up, and then drawing our left leg down, trying to tap our top left hand. Again, total body work here. Keeping it going. Halfway there. After this, it's just core. Keeping it going. Lifting your hips, opening your knees, and then drawing your top leg up towards your top hand. Last 10. Going strong for 5. Last 3. You got this. Give me one more. And then releasing everything down. From here, get nice and cozy on your back, bringing your forearm down to like we're laying at the beach. Core stays nice and engaged. Bringing your feet hip width apart in parallel, flexing your toes. From here, we're going to lift to a tabletop and then tap the heels. Just drawing the legs up to a tabletop and then tapping the heels. Core stays nice and engaged. Really trying to draw your navel down and towards the spine. If the heel tap is too much or you find that you're straining your hips, just don't go that far. Only go as far as you can. Keeping it going for 7. Last 3, 2, and 1. Whole leg to the tabletop. Just the right leg extends and then bends back. So that left leg stays completely still, not moving. Toes stay flat. So really drawing your toes up towards the ceiling, extending your right leg as far as you can, going as low as you can without tapping your right heel towards the floor. Core stays engaged the whole time. Thinking about really trying to press your entire back into the floor, even though you're propped up on your forearm. That's how much you're engaging your core. Keeping it going, just bending and extending your right leg, the lowest hover that you can do. Keeping it going. Last 10. Almost there. So close for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that right knee bent, left leg extends, and then bend. So same thing, just working the left side. Maybe one side feels a little bit different. That is completely normal. Most important thing is drawing in your abs. Think about pulling your navel in towards your spine, extending your left leg as straight as you can to your lowest point without tapping your heel. Ironically, if you tap the heel, it makes it a little bit easier. So you want to just extend it out. Think about extending your left leg and squeezing your glutes, and that's at your lowest point. Core is engaged. Almost there. Keeping it going. Last 10. Almost there. Right leg is still unmoving. For 3, 2, and 1. Both legs to a tabletop. Both legs extend and bend. You can slow this one down a little bit more as you're working with both legs. As you draw the knees back to a tabletop, stopping further away than you think, drawing your knees just directly over your hips. Now try to draw your knees to your chest. The closer your knees are to your chest before you extend them out again, makes it a little bit easier. You want to keep this challenging. Just bending and extending both legs. Forearms are still pressed down, palms facing in towards the rug or the carpet or the mat below you. Last 20 seconds. Keep it going. Core is engaged. Moving the legs simultaneously, one with the other. Last 7. And then bring your legs to a tabletop. Bring your feet together and then just drawing your legs up and then to a tabletop. So bringing them into that diamond shape as you draw your feet down, bringing your feet in line with your knees, opening up your knees, making that diamond shape. So your big toe down to your heel is glued together. Keeping it going. Halfway there. Still going. Almost there. Just drawing the legs together and then to a diamond. As they're together, they're up toward the ceiling at your diagonal, and then tabletop in the diamond. Last 5. Pulling your legs to a tabletop with your knees apart in that diamond shape, and then just tap the toes, come back to center. So think about trying to tap your pinky toes. If you find that you're starting to cave your abs upwards, just don't lower your toes as far. You want to keep your abs engaged, not doming out your stomach. Keeping it going. Maybe your legs are starting to shake. Core stays nice and engaged, keeping your big toe to your heel glued together. Just that tiny opening between your arch. Keeping your knees apart, knees are wider than your hips. Pulling in that diamond shape. Last 10. Core is engaged for 5. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way back. Just resting your feet down, zipping your legs together so your feet are parallel in line with one another. Legs are zipped, palms by your side, and we're just going to raise and lower our glutes. Squeezing your glutes as you lift your hips as high as you can, barely tapping your glutes on the floor before you're squeezing and lifting your hips back up towards the ceiling. Imagine that somebody has a string around your hips and they're pulling you up towards your ceiling. Keeping it going. Neck is just flat on the floor, looking up towards the ceiling. Legs are glued together as if your legs are one line. Keeping it going. Just raise and lower. Last 7. Core is engaged. And then bring the feet hip width apart. From here, same thing. Just raise and lower. Just working different parts of the glute. You can always add weight on your hips. If you add any kind of weight, just make sure that you hold it on your hip flexors as you raise and lower. Core stays engaged. So not only are you squeezing your glutes as you lift your hips high, you're also engaging your core. Think about tucking your hips under, drawing your navel in towards your spine, and then squeezing your glutes all at once. Keeping it going. Really contracting your core muscles. Almost there. Feet flat on the floor for 10. Almost there. So close. Last 3, 2, and 1. Keeping the hips lifted. Now bring the feet wide on your hips. Toes are slowly turned out, and then flex your feet. Bring your toes up towards the ceiling. From here, keeping the hips lifted. We're just going to draw the hips to the right and then to the left. Drawing the hips from side to side. Really think about your hips making a U shape. Drawing your left hip up to the left side, right hip up towards the right side. Keeping it going. Heels are pressed into the floor. Toes are up towards the ceiling. Core is engaged. Glutes are squeezed. Everything is just holding up as high as you can, and then drawing the hips right and then left. Last 13. Then we get to set everything down and stretch. And 7. Last 3, 2, and 1. Releasing your hips down and then drawing your knees into your chest. Curling up into a ball. Tucking your chin into your chest, maybe wiggling your toes, maybe draw them in circles, and then reverse the direction. From here, rolling forwards and backwards a few times. Nice spinal stretch. However many times as you'd like, and then coming up to a seated position when you are ready. Extending the right leg long, drawing the sole of your left foot into your right leg, and then bringing your right hand in line with your right leg. Left arm reaches up overhead, chin and chest stays lifted. First stretch all along the left side body, and then bringing your left arm down, maybe bringing your nose to your knees, heart to your thigh. Gently rolling up slowly when you're ready to switch your sides. Left leg extends long, drawing the sole of your right leg into your left thigh. Left arm down on top of your left leg, right arm reaches up overhead, chin and chest stays lifted. And then drawing your right arm down, really feeling that stretch all along the right side body. Gently rolling up slowly. And then drawing the soles of your feet together, coming into a butterfly shape. Maybe moving the knees up and down. Little tiny movements. And then holding your knees down as low as you can and folding your body forward for a nice hip release. Really opening up those hip flexors. And coming back up, pressing your right leg over your left, and then drawing your right arm to your left knee, left arm behind your body, and looking over your left shoulder. And then just switching sides, making your left leg in front of your right, left arm to the outside of your right knee, right hand behind your body, looking over your right shoulder. Enjoying that stretch all on your back and your abdominal muscles. Coming back to center, coming to a standing position in whatever way works for you. Drawing the right arm across the body, not grabbing at the elbow or the wrist, just the forearm. Open and switch. Open and a big deep breath. One more for good luck. Awesome work. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Amanda and this is Barre Sculpt. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to stretch and drink just plenty amounts of water. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you, Rob.